Okay, here I am. That's Gus. He came over to, supervise a little bit. He traveled over 2 miles to get here, and that's a long way on an icy road. Anyhow, Friday afternoon, and done for the day. The tank is in, right? There you go. Everything's up there, and all the hot lines are in. This thing here, the hose part, that'll get in there tomorrow sometime. And then what else happened this week? Oh yeah, I got the brakes finished at the back here, and I got that tin foil in here done up. So anyway, been not a bad week. I think it's time to go and have a coffee or a beer, one of the two things. What do you think, Gus? Is it time for a coffee or a beer? Either way is okay with you. Okay. Anyway, see you next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye-bye. Yeah. So here I am, all these pieces, right? That plus the emergency brake cable goes in, right? So I've got a new one of those. Now, I took off the hub, right? Just set it over here so I can get all these pieces put in here. There is method to this stuff, because these ones here, so you see ones for each side. So I think that one here with the lever to the out, and this one here with the lever to the in, goes on this side here, because this is the adjuster stop. But I can't really tell from the diagram. It's difficult to tell. So this one here, you got lever out, and it looks like the lever is in on that side. Yeah, I think so. So now, first thing I think I'll do is take these little springy things and these grasper things, stick them in. They hold the brake shoe in place. So I'll do that. But the very first thing. Yeah, here we go. That's sort of the right spot there, eh? So first, where's my grease? Here's my grease. Now this is something I'm watching, what am I watching? I'm watching a channel called Budget Builds, and they're kind of fun to watch, because they do stuff fast. It's not like me that takes forever to do stuff. So they put a bit, like wherever the brake is going to touch on the hub, they just put a bit of grease on there, and that stops it from squeaking. So they say. Can't lose, right? And that's that brake type of grease, right? So I'll put that on. Yeah, so now I've got this side in, and I hooked on the emergency brake cable thing right there. This side, these two things, as you saw, they're pretty tough to get in. I'm pretty sure this goes to the outside like that. So it's got to get a spring thing on it here somewhere. And the book is hard to see the picture in the book, so anyway, I'll keep on going. Now, that was a bit epic. So, you have to put these springs on the shoes before you clip these in here, and then these here with new springs are incredibly difficult. Anyway, I'll take a bit of a rest, then I'll get at it again here. Yeah, so there, now this adjuster thing, the long side of that, wait, I'll get the other one and show you, because there is difference. This has got a long side and a short side, right? So I think that the long side is supposed to go inside because it has to catch that, the hooky thing on the inside there has to catch it, and then this side here, like that, when you pull on the emergency brake, it pulls the brake pedal ahead and clicks your adjuster down one. So now there's a spring goes from there to there, and there's one more spring to go somewhere. I'll figure it out. These two springs are very, very difficult to get on. Those two things are very, very difficult to get on. Everything's very difficult to get on. Now, so front side gets the big pad, right? Back side gets the smaller pad. I don't know why that is, but that's how it is. Okay. Yeah, there. Now this spring here goes on from underneath, sort of. It's got some weird stuff on there. Very difficult to get in. I don't know if I've got it right. I guess it's right because it's holding, but just has to hold the bottom ones in. It does not like this is where the big action happens at the top, right? Well, they're pointing right down here at the bottom. So that spring goes right in there, and this spring comes into the same hole. That one goes on first, and then the emergency brake stuff goes on here, and that has to be adjusted somewhat over here, I think. Not really sure how that is going to happen. We'll just check it out. Yeah, there. The hub and the wheel, like I put the hub on, and it's got two, like there's a screw hole here and a screw hole here. They're off center, so there's only one way that the hub will fit. I'd fit to those two things, and that's likely a balancing thing of some sort. I don't know, but I don't have the screws that go in there, and don't know where they ever went to, but as long as the wheel's on tight, I think we're okay. But I did line up those holes. Now, to adjust the brakes, there's an adjuster hole in the back here that we'll get to sometime, but I've got them sort of just so that they're just touching, right? And it'll turn, but they're just touching. So, but it needs to get some brake fluid in there and then get them seated right. I went and I cleaned that all off on the inside and the outside. It's in not bad shape. The seems to be okay. Anyhow, there you go. That's all for this side, and I'll go and the other side might go a little bit quicker. Yeah, okay, here I am. It's what day is it? I wonder. Wednesday, Thursday today. So I'm back on the van, and I've been working on the back, around and about the back. Now I put it on to fast forward here yesterday, but you likely just got my shoulder to the whole thing. But I do have this all put back together. I'll show you from the other side here. And this one here, I also had a experiment with a different camera. I don't think it really worked that well, but there's some parts of it are okay. So here I've got the hub on, right? This spring goes up here and catches that, which is the adjuster for the, like when you pull on the emergency brake, it adjusts the brakes. And then this part here is hooked in, right? Then there's a spring in there that holds the top across, spring in there that holds the top across, and a spring across here that holds the bottom in. And then the emergency brake thing goes in right there. I do have a couple of clippy things for the emergency brake. They may go on right here, I think. Here. Then it goes across. I'm pretty sure either there or on the bottom. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll find, see if I can find it in the book somewhere where to route that. Then, so now I just got to get this sort of adjusted up a little bit and put the brake shoe on, which I've got cleaned up fairly nicely. Or a brake hub. What do you call this thing? Anyhow, whatever it's called. It cleaned up all right. So I'll get that on and go from there. Yeah, there, that's on. Now I'll have to put some brake lines in it, get some fluid to it, and see if I can get them sort of seated right or sitting right. Because right now they're, I think, all over the place in there. Anyway, next is, I won't worry too much about these things here until I figure out where they should go. I think they go there. Makes a bit of sense. They either go there or else they go there, which makes some sense also. Oops, where am I looking? Right there. There's a hole there to put a clippy thing in. I'll see if I can find that in the book. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that that's where it goes right here. It goes underneath here, and then this clippy thing, which is a heavy duty clippy thing, I'm not going to put that in until I've got everything adjusted. It will go there, and that'll hold that up Might take a tie wrap here somewhere to hold. Oops, where am I pointing? Might take a tie wrap here somewhere to hold it up. And then it goes through this hole in the bodywork here, right on each side here. One there, and then into the actuator, which is here. And then that thing there's some adjustment at the other end. I don't know if there's any adjustment at this end. I'll put some oil on it here and just let it soak for a while. Okay, so I'm back to making brake lines. Here's the old one that went in like that, and then it came across here sort of idea and to this point here. Just so an idea of the curves it has to take. From there, I don't know if you can see that, it's a little bit dark in there. Can you see that? From there, and then across to here. Let's see if I can get some better light in here. Hang on. There's some better light looking down on it here now. So right in here, where is it? Right from here, and the line goes across to here and meets up with this rubber hose here that goes through this thing right here. So I'll do that one first, then I'll move to the other side. Yeah, so you've seen me make lots of brake lines, so I'll just go ahead and make up the lines and see if I can get them to fit and show you how I'm doing. Anyway, there, that's in there, and it's routed across here. Then there's a hole in the trailing arm right here, and I've got this clippy thing that sort of pokes in there, and then it won't come out of there now, and I'll turn it around, and that'll be a holder for that. And I've got it held at this end with the hose clamp like the other ones. So once this is on here, then that'll be good. That's one side done. So I'll just do the other side just like that. Yeah, there we go. That's that pipe in there and clamped at the end and tightened down. So it's all tightened together. Now, this side here doesn't move nearly as easily as the other side. I don't know why. This side here doesn't move at all now. Maybe I've got the emergency brake pulled. So I've got to get the brakes seated properly and then figure out how to get this side loosened off a bit. Okay, so now it's finish putting the master cylinder together. I'll let it down. I think I've got a thing in the way over there. I'll have to go over there and get that out of the way. Now my master cylinder bucket goes on the top of here, so I'll just put a little bit of brake fluid just to lubricate that. I'll get some and lubricate that, and then see if I can get that master cylinder reservoir to go on there. Yeah, there, that thing's back on there. There it is. And I just put a little bit of that grease around the edges just to make it work a little bit, that brake grease. This stuff here, synthetic brake lubricant. So it won't make rubber swell, so it's okay to use it on those rubber fittings in there. As far as I know. Well, that's my story, and I got to stick to it anyhow. So now, next thing I have to do is fill this up with fluid. Hey, that's easy. I can do that. Then I've got that pressure system that I'll just hook on there and see if I can bleed the brakes. Okay, I'll give it a go. Yeah, so there now, I've got this pressure system thing pumped up, and it's got like 5 pounds of pressure in there. And you can see it's losing some pressure somewhere along the way. I don't know whether it's pushing fluid through. It might be. Like there's bubbles coming up here. Yeah, it looks like it's pushing fluid through somewhere. Wonder what I don't have tight. Guess I can find out pretty quick. See where the fluid's coming from. Up it goes. Yeah, I don't see it obviously spitting out anywhere, so it's letting the air through. So I'll open up a bleeder at the back here and let air through, and then see if I can get it to come to be okay. Yeah, they say when you're bleeding brakes, you go to the farthest one away first, which is this one here. But the back two are both the same distance far away. Yeah, there. So I've let the pressure. There might be some fluid coming someday. Long way back here. I'll just check and see that there's still pressure at the other end and enough fluid in the reservoir. Hang on. Now there might be some fluid come through here someday. Oh, there, it's dripping now, so I'm just gonna close this off again. I just want to get fluid to each wheel. Yeah, there's fluid coming out of that one. That's good. I've got, I want to get fluid to each wheel, and then I'll let it down, and I'll pump the brakes a few times and see what happens. Well, that's an 8. Everything's a 7. Here we are at the front. Oh, yeah, there's fluid dripping out of there. That's good. Try the other front. Yeah, oh yeah, lots of fluid dripping out of there. Okay, now I'm going to take it up and take a look underneath and see if there's any, like that bubbling there, but I think it's, can you see that? It's bubbling right there. Right there, there's bubbles coming up out of the bottom, but I think it's that joint up there that's leaking. I'm not really sure. Anyhow, I won't worry about it yet. There's pressure on the system. It's, only 10 pounds or something on the system right now. But if I take it up and take a look underneath and see if there's any obvious leaks, that'll be okay. Because all the lines are full, we think. There, now. Yeah, there's an obvious leak right there. I wonder what the hell fell down there. I'll just check into that. Gotta get my light. Yeah, it's good when you can find an obvious leak. Oh yeah, that one there. Maybe I didn't tighten that. I'll just check. Yeah, so that one there, that was leaking. Not leaking anymore because I tightened it up. It wasn't, I didn't even tighten it. I forgot to tighten that one. Wonder what other ones I forgot to tighten. I'm pounding my head and stuff. Up here. Oh, come on. Nothing wrong with those two. There's no leak there. Okay. Out here. No leak at the top. No leak here. There is a small drip right there. I wonder if that's from when I was bleeding it up above there, or I'll just take that off there. See if it comes again there. If it does, then that's a problem, but not too serious a problem. Same thing over here. There's a drip showing there. Yeah, that's dripping, so I gotta tighten those too. Somehow. That's okay. At the back here, the only other joint is right here. And those are okay. And there's a joint in here. That one's okay. And there's a joint there. That one's okay. Can you see on that? And over here, there's a joint right there. That one's okay. And a joint right there. And that one's okay. So I think we're okay for leaky joints. Now I'll just check the wheels. That one there Seems to be all right. That drip right there is from when I was running the bleeder, as far as I can tell. I think this strip right here is when it's from running the bleeder too. But I'll give all of the wheel joints a little bit of a tighten and then see if that solves that. Yeah, there now. I've got that set up to light too bright, a little bit bright. Anyhow, see this? I've got a hose coming down into this little bucket here, and this is a 7mm thing here. So what I'll do is I loosen this off. The fluid should start flowing through, and I should be able to see bubbles up there if there's going to be bubbles. See if the fluid starts coming. Sometimes you got to be patient. Yeah, see there's fluid coming there now. There's one bubble. I think that it might be pretty bubble free. Yeah, there's enough fluid coming through and don't see any bubbles, so that one there is likely fairly clear. Now I'll just pull that off of there and go over to the next wheel over. So here I am set for the, this is, what wheel is this? This is the driver's side. That was the passenger side one I did. This one here, I'll just loosen this off a bit to about there. And then watch for fluid coming up. So you got to have that up over the top of the rise there to make it so that you can see if there's any bubbles coming, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell there's bubbles. You just let it drop into your bucket here. Oops. There's the fluid coming now, and a bubble right on the top of it. But I don't think there's too many more bubbles coming now. I think it got all the air out of it. Okay, so you tighten that off. Then this thing here, if you turn it that way, it'll drain the fluid out before you spill it everywhere. So there, that's two of them done. There's some cleanup to do a little bit, but not bad. Yeah, now I'm on the passenger side front now. And I'll just loosen that a bit. And it should allow some brake fluid to come through there. I'll just wait for the fluid to arrive. There it is, see? And I don't see any bubbles coming, but the bubbles must have come out before, right? So that's good. It must be clean. Now one more wheel to go on the other side. That power thing, the thing I have there for bleeding brakes, that's a great tool. It really does help. It makes it so you can do it on your own without, somebody pumping on the brakes and maybe perhaps hurting themselves. Now I'm at the driver's side, right? Front. This way. Gotta figure out what way to turn. Make that thing to go. There's fluid coming, and there's lots of it coming, and I don't see any bubbles in the world, so I gotta call those things Bled. And all the fluid that we really used was that much there for bleeding the brakes. Now that thing there, you could leave that on there for a while and see if it holds pressure. It seems to be holding pressure now, and I'm fairly happy with it. So that's like all the fluid that came through is right there. Now other times you want to bleed more through to, like lots of times you want to be able to change the oil in the brakes. This thing here, the power bleeder thing up there, that Motive Products, I don't know where it came from. It wasn't, must have been the Amazon maybe, but you can get different sized heads for it. That's for European Now, the other one I've got there is set up for the TR7, and it's just like a hose, a normal garden hose fits on a TR7. So I built a little thing to make that work. And then North American cars would have to have a different size thing for it. Anyway, it works pretty good and pushes pressure down through the whole system. So I'll just leave it there for a bit. But now I'll go and press on the brakes a couple of times, see what happens. Yeah, so you pump it up a couple of times and it's a nice hard brake pedal. So what's going on now is the front ones are okay. They just turn and loosen, right? But the back ones, they need to be adjusted because it's taking some, yeah, that's fine. Front ones feel fine. The back ones, they need to be adjusted up because they've all of a sudden, like that's just loose there. I'll try the other side. I got a pile of wood in here that Gus asked me if I could just, yeah, see that turns really nice and easy now, so that must have sorted itself out. Now a matter of getting these things adjusted a bit, and I'll work on that right now. Yeah, so this thing here, the adjuster came right out, fell right out when I was pressing on the brakes because it just all of a sudden it was too wide a gap or something. So I'll just take this apart. I'll leave the brakes adjusted where they are right now. Take this apart and then put that back into the right place here. While I have an opportunity, here's this spring across the bottom here, right? And then this spring here goes up and holds onto the adjuster. This part here, it sort of slides in with the big, like there's a big side. And the big side goes to the back here to catch that. There's a break in it there. Wait a minute, I'll get the spring off there and show you. Yeah, you can't really see it, but there's a gap right there in the brake pad. Same on that side over there, underneath this. That has to, the big end, the long end has to catch that gap. Anyway, so I'll get this on and I'll show you. Yeah, so nothing fell apart on this side. It was all, the big light coming through there. Anyway, so I've tightened it up. See this thing? How do I block the light? Yeah, you see that thing right there? Right down below, yeah. See the teeth thing there? Anyhow, I tightened up the brakes with this right here. I tightened it up. Now I'll just put the shoe back on, or the drum back on, and then I'll pump it up a couple of times. Same on the other side. I'll go and do it the same. Sometimes this camera, there's the brake, right? So it still needs more adjusting back there, but it's nice and solid there now. So as soon as I get it roadable, then I'll do some more adjusting of it. But for now, it's good. It's got brakes. That's so it'll stop. Now I just have to put a motor in it, and then maybe it'll go, right? There's lots of room in here for a motor. Anyway, there we go. I'll carry on. Yeah, so now, where am I pointing here? Right here, yep. I decided I'd go ahead and tighten up these things. The rear trailing arm, 75 foot-pounds on this one, and on all of them. There's an adjustment here. It'll go up and down for camber, right? And it'll go back and forth on that one for caster. So I put it about the middle of the run here. I just used a pair of vice grips and brought it up to about the middle. And I put it about the middle of the run there, just eyeballed it. And down the road, when it comes time to align the wheels, they'll loosen these off and do a little bit of dicking around with them and then put them back tight again. So, but that's later, and it's going to take a lot of reading in the book to get that figured out. Anyhow, now that's I think it's safe enough to tie these down. Yeah, I can tie them down. That'd be good. Yeah, there's a tie wrap for everything these days. So that's, just wrapped around there. I'll clip that off with my clippy things later. Well, pretty soon. I'll go over to the other side and do the other side, and then that'll be all. All the brake lines are in. Now I see a little drip there. I don't wonder if that's newer drip or an old drip. I'll check into that. Hang on, sorry about that. So this side here, it's got to be just turned around. And there's a bright light shining in your eye. I'll just get rid of that light. Because you can't see anything with that bright light shining in your eye. I can't even see anything with that bright light shining in my eye. There, how's that? That's better, right? Okay, now. Can you see, is there enough light here now? Where am I? Right here. So the tie wrap thing just goes back into itself, like tie wraps do. Yeah, easier said than done, especially when you can't see anything. Hang on, I'll get a light. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I'm bleeding. Hey. Oh well, figure that out. Try it now. I got a light on there. So this thing here just wraps around itself and into itself, like tie wraps do. Tighten it down, and then it's got that'll keep it from rattling around. Anyhow, mostly just keep it from dropping down on top of that and making a rattle sound. So I think the brakes are in. Still have to do the emergency brake thing, but I'll wait for a while before I get to that. I don't think there's any drips coming off of that right there. No, I think it's clear. That drip on the floor is an old one from before. But I'll go around and I'll wipe up all the drips that I find, and then see if there's any other drips that come along. Yeah, here we go. This is the stuff that I've got down here. There we go. It's got silver on the outside here, and then a foam padding, and then, so I'm going to take some of this stuff and put it up in there. Now where am I looking? Up here. Yeah, so all the way in there, that gets that foam stuff. It'll get two layers, one layer and then another layer. And then I'll put the little springy things in to hold it. So it gets layers along there and then layers along the, yeah, so up this area and that area there, right up to here. Okay, yeah, that's fine, I got it. Recenter this now. There we go. Okay, that's all for now. Yeah, so there's that stuff. It's pretty brilliant. That's two layers of it there, so that'll be enough for soundproofing and a little bit of insulation for, whatever. So that piece there, I got cut out to fit in there, and then I'll have to cut another piece out. Up here, I wonder where this thing is looking. Yeah, up there. Up along there. Okay. Then gluing, I just use this stuff. Ultra robust, right? Heavy duty, water and heat resistant. Metal and wood LePage spray adhesive. Seems to work pretty good. I've got some other choices here too, but I like this LePage stuff. I think I got it on the internet from Amazon. Yeah, so I'm the creature from the Black Lagoon with this stuff here, so that's why I'm kind of muffled in the voice. Yeah, that's all in there now, and I'll just let it set overnight, and then done for the day today. Turn off some lights. Did all right. Got the brakes finished and bled, and started putting in the insulation back there. So we'll see how I get done tomorrow. I'm not really sure where I'll go next. I think it's might be time to put the gas tank in it. I'll think about that. Anyhow, there you go. That's all for now. Yeah, here I am. So, Friday today. Back onto the Volkswagen van. Now, what'll I do today? I'll just show you what I got done. Yesterday I had threatened for a while. Yesterday, what did I get done? I finished up these brakes. Plus, I threatened for a while to get this stuff in here done. And I did that. Wait, I'll turn on the light in here. There we go. I've got that insulation up there. Now it just needs to have the little wire things that go on there. I'll dig them out and see if I can get them installed again. And then I'm toying with the idea of either working on the electrics or else putting in the gas tank. I think the gas tank is going to be happening because that'll get one more thing out of my way in here. And it's way over there behind the thing. Plus there's a bunch of pieces that go with it. So that might be the answer, is put the gas tank in and get that out of the way. Then look at this, a nice clean bench to work off. Usually it's all covered with stuff, but today it's pretty clean. I got stuff put away. Well, actually, I put a bunch of stuff over there. Anyway, but this one here is clean, so I'll carry on. Yeah, so now, first thing I want to do here is clean up some of these old lines. Like this line here is okay, but I'll take the heat gun to this and see if I can get the this end off of here and get this working properly. It's a gravity switch, so that if the van turns over, it closes. So I gotta clean it up and see if I can get it to work. Yeah, so first things first, I'll just clean this stuff off and put a coat of paint on there, and that'll look okay. The backside is actually all right. It's got a surface coating on it. There's the backside of this one. So what I'll do is I'll just clean that, and I'm not gonna go after it with the wire brush. This one here I'll go after with the wire brush on the inside of it. Yeah, there I cleaned up the two brackets and gave them a coat of that black paint. When I cleaned them up, they were the same material as what was on those whatever you call those lower control arms, and like in brand new condition underneath all the dirt. So I'm happy with them. Yeah, that's the spout now. I've cleaned that up and painted it up. I don't know if I showed you these things, but that's the brackets now painted up and looking good. Yeah, so these valves here, they're some sort of safety thing on them, so that if the van turns over, then they shut, and it stops fuel from falling out of the tank, coming out of the tank. And it says to check them if they don't work, to replace them. But I checked them first, and there's a vent hole here. So I was blowing on the bottom, and of course it was blowing out the vent hole. So if you cover the vent hole and blow in them, and then turn it over, they seem to work. You can hear them rattle in there, and so they seem to be a working model. And both sides are good, so I'm happy with that. Here we are, down here. This piece here that I've got a new piece for. The old piece was actually in reasonably good shape. I don't think there was anything really wrong with it. But it goes through, I'll show you where, above the heat box here, it goes through right here, and the end piece won't fit through that hole right here without taking it off. So the way to get it off is with the heat gun. I took the heat gun. Was I looking in the right place there? I wonder. Hard to say when I'm looking at this camera. Right up here. Yeah, right through there. It's got to go the hose. And so the heat gun warms it up so that you can get that fitting off the end of it there, which comes with the fitting on it like this. So now I'll just stick it through that hole and heat it up again and put that fitting back on, I hope. Yeah, I don't know if can you see that plastic. Anyhow, there's two of these, one for each side, right? And that one there I've got in here. I need to get them both in to get the hoses routed correctly. Am I pointing the right place? Oh yeah, there, that's better. So there's two hoses come off this, one to the that thing that I put in there last, and another one goes to the front of the tank somewhere. And then have to get hoses coming this way and coming from the other side also. So I'll put the other side in and then I'll get the hoses routed properly. Now the seal, oh, I wonder where it is. This one. Here's a seal for it here, and it's not in very good shape. So I'll have to order new seals for it. But for the meantime, I'll get this up in there and then I can pull it off to put the new seal in at another time. Yeah, so here we are. This is the, where am I? Looking in the wrong place as usual. Here we are. There's the gas tank, right? So these grommet, these seal things came along with the kit. And now this thing here was where the, what do you call that? The sending unit for the gas tank goes. So it has to go like this direction here. So that, you see that right there. Oh, that grommet right there. Whoops. Now this thing here is falling off. Hang on. Might be a two-handed operation here. Anyhow, and it's got a seal. You put the seal in there, and I've put a bunch of that synthetic grease on there, that same kind of grease that you use for, what do you call it? For brakes. Because it apparently doesn't swell rubber, and I just want it to be able to make a good, make it easy turn here and seal it good. It says in the book that you're supposed to use graphite powder, and I don't have any graphite powder. But then, so the float goes towards this end, from here towards that hole, and then it goes in. Yeah, there you go. It's all in. So what did I use? I used this this thing here, so that it's high on one side and goes over the. Sorry, it's high on one side and gets over the electrical connection. Just turned on it, and that did it. Now, I've been making pipes. Where are you? So it's got to have. I'll put this in my hand. Can you see in here? Is that enough light? I put this plastic thing back up in here. You can't really tell what it is. It's just a big blob, right? And so when you put the plastic thing in, there's a, right here where my finger is, there's a nut there. So you put it on there first and then just jam it up into place, and it'll pop into this side panel here. Now, this hose here goes to the cross member hose, and I've just used a piece of brake line and I put a flare at the end of it, and that seems to work pretty good for that hose, so it's not all rubber. Then on the other side I'll do the same thing, and then there's two more to go on that hit on here and there. So I'll get them built and sort of put them on, and then we'll see how I get to bend them up in place. Yeah, so I think I'm, wait a minute here. Oh boy, point down here. Okay, pretty near ready to put this in. And I'm going to, what I'll do over here at the car, where am I? It goes in right here. Now there's two bolts, one here, one on the other side, and then the straps hook in right back here on that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ratchet strap from here to there, and then just lay the tank into there and see what I can do about getting it lined up then. Because when I took it out, it was an adventure. Yeah, so there, put the ratchet strap across here, and I think I'm set to go. I cleaned off where am I looking here? Yeah, I don't know, can you see that wire there? There's a wire hanging down. Oh, wrong way. Somewhere in there. Yeah, there, right in the middle of the screen there's a wire. Right there. That's the wire for the sensor of how much fuel, whatever you call that, fuel gauge. So now, I'll see if I can get this fuel tank onto there, and then go from there. Yeah, there, it's hanging there. So what I've done is I've put a wire at the back over there, and another wire on that side. There's a hole and like a thing in the tank for doing that. Now, and I've got the wire hooked up for the sensor. It's in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, there it is. I'll get some light up there. Hang on. Yeah, can you see that? I don't know. I can't see anything because I got too many lights in my eyes. There you are. That's got the light on the sensor there. Then these things here, there's number 1 coming up from right there. And there would be another one, but to get these ones here down into the spot right on top there, I don't know how to do that. Might have to read the book. Hang on. Yeah, so the book seems to think that you can get it in after it's up in place. So maybe I'll see about getting it up into place, which is, see those, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see those holes in the rail back there? Where am I looking? Yeah, see the hole in the rail, sort of the top right of the screen there. Anyhow, the rail, one rail goes in there, there's another hole on the other side, and the rail goes in there, and then it sort of tips up into place, but it tips from the back to the front, or from that end to the front. And I don't think there's any sort of shelf on there except for the rails, so I'll just get at it. Yeah, there, so it goes in with the front end first, and it sits on this lip here. And then you push the back end in, and it fits up into there. And then I just put the one tri-bar, one holder hanging there, because that'll keep it in place. That won't allow it to fall out of place. Excuse me. Hang on. Now I'm going to see if I can get the. What'll I do? I'm just going to put a bolt in right in there, just to hold it in place, so it won't. Then it's not allowed to slip out. Then I'll see about letting it down and getting these things here hooked up, because this one here came through, or that one came through. It's supposed to be like that. I'm not really sure. We'll just see what I have to do with that. This one here is that one, and somehow you got to get my little tiny hands in there and get that pushed in. I'll just see about that. I'll let it down to a height that I can work on it. Up here somewhere, there, right in there. You see the white thing there? So I was able to reach in there and just, where is it? Yeah, right there, and push that in. Push that into the tank, and then there's another hole here. I don't know if you can see that hole there. I don't know what you can see for sure. There's another hole there that then the vent fuel from the tank vent fuel. Now I've got to find that piece. Hang on. Yeah, so here this piece here is the tank. It's the vent that goes up to the filler thing, which comes through there eventually. So here now I'll see if I can get it into place, and then we'll go to the other side. Yeah, there now, that's in its place, so I'll just take a wander to the other side of the car here and see if I can get these other ones in place. Had a bit of a stoppage for a few minutes while the lift decided not to work. And it all happens at once. The lift was going up, and then the switch wouldn't turn off. So I gave it a bash and it turned off, and then it wouldn't turn on. So I had to dig in here, and don't you know, like, it had to happen that one of the wires just was loose and fell out. But I turned off the electricity to it and everything like that before I did that. So anyhow, it all fixed itself in the end. Now this part here, a little bit better reaching on this side. and it's got to go in here somewhere. First off, I'll get this hose thing here up into the right spot. It's got to be on the other side of that, right? Over there, like that. Something like that. And then this piece here, should be a hole here somewhere for it, right over there. Oh, it's a kind of a two-handed operation, so I'll see if I can get it in the spot. There now, it's mostly in now. I just have to get the rails in, and I also have some little rubber things that go on the rails to keep it from, you know, rattling and bouncing. So I'll figure that out. Yeah, there. Now I used what I call my transmission jack to, and it sort of fits right in there and holds that tight. So you can see the rubber grommet thing, the rubber mounter there, and the rubber mounter there. They'll be up. They can't move because they're under pressure. Now, I have to put the other side of the rail in, and then I've just got that bolt snug, so I'll torque it up. Yeah, it's Friday again here, and it's slippy and icy today because yesterday it rained and a big wind came through along with the rain and rain and rain, so all the snow disappeared again. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it disappeared. So Buster's on a voyage of discovery here. All the stuff that's come back up out of the snow is good for his nose. Well, look at that, it's a low tide today with lots of sandbars out. Haven't seen the sandbars for a couple of months. And the water's back up in the pond. I don't know if I'll be walking on that ice yet today, even yet. It's pretty cold today. But I don't think that ice is safe yet. Yeah, my bridge is pretty well snow-free again. And the big waves came up and took away our little cliff here. Brought the sand back up, so we got a new beach. We have a new beach. A rejuvenated beach. A little bit breezy out here today. And the Buster, as usual, is the star of the show, right? Hey? I'll just go over and see if they, oh yeah, the sand come up and blocked off, alright. Water outflow, I guess I have to do some engineering today, get the water flowing again, or else it'll be overflowing over there. Oh well, that's a job. Yeah, there it is, flowing again. So that'll make it so I don't get flooded out over there. Anyway, there's the beach for another Friday, right? And I have my pal with me. Being the YouTube star he is. Hey, see you tomorrow. See you later.